Hello and welcome to ARK The Complete Series. We're making our way through the island and so far we're up to level 68. We'll cap out at level 100 somewhere along the way before we then start taking on the end boss on this map. But yeah, we've been making quite a lot of progress, I'd say, because I mean we've got ourselves quite a lot of dinos down there. We've got our own little vegetable patches to start growing things. But the next thing I want to focus on is to go out and get myself an argentavis, because they make a big difference really to the game. I mean the pteranadon here, that's been great for getting around the map, and it's not too bad for carrying things, but the argentavis is really good if you want to start transporting things around the map. It's also good for being able to pick up a lot more dinos and also being able to drop those inside of a trap that you make. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to head over to the volcano, which you can see there in the background, and the plan is to put a trap down there. It'll be a pillar trap, so the idea is to lure it, you know, find ourselves a decent argentavis, lure it into that trap using the pteranadon here, and then I'll seal it in with a final pillar stone so it can't get out, and then we can just take pot shots at it with like the long neck rifle and some tranq darts. Now the the pteranodon that I've got here, it can't really carry that much, so I've got a sort of like a limited amount of resources on me, and so I've got a few pillars. These are the big 5 high ones that you get for S+, though. I mean technically you could just dump 5 on top of each other if you want. It doesn't necessarily have to be that high, but I find it helps. It makes it easier when I've just got fewer items to take around with me. So the plan will be to literally, I'll have to go and do this in kind of like in steps basically, because you won't be able to have the stamina to get all the way over there, I don't think. Now there's a little mound over there in the redwoods that we can use to stop off. But one of the things I do definitely need though, if I want to get a decent tame out of this thing, is stego kibble. So I've been gathering quite a lot of eggs from these stegos that I did capture, and I've been making quite a lot of stego kibble since. So at this stage all I've got is a preserving bin to go by, so we've got what 17 stego kibble. Part of the recipe for that is actually, I think that was prime meat jerky though. Yeah, I mean citronal has been easy enough to get, measure berries as well, but the prime meat jerky, now that's a bit tricky, because what you've got to do is you've got to go out and get yourself prime meat, then you cook it, then you put it into the preserving bin here, and then as long as you've got some oil, it gets turned into a jerky. Now I'm getting quite a lot of the oil from from those tech dinos that are around, because now they actually drop oil, they'll drop metal, they'll drop dust, element dust, as well as some electronics. So that's where I've mostly been getting the oil from. The prime meat you can usually get it from, I mean there's been some carnos wandering around, as well as some stegos as well, so that's where I've been getting most of that from. So I've got my all this food here, all this kibble, this stego kibble. I mean that's pretty much as I need. Ideally I want to be able to go and get myself a pair of high level argentavis, then I'll breed those, and then I'll use the the baby from that to go about my daily tasks. But we'll just have to see what sort of levels we can get in the time frame that I'm going to do this in. But you can always just go out and get a reasonable argentavis to start with, and then you can get a better one later on. I mean that's what I've been doing with the pteranodon, for instance, as well as the trikes. So yeah, I mean I've got the stego kibble here, and I've made up all of the pillars. The rest of them, they're all over here, along with some of the ceilings, because obviously we've got to be able to seal that thing in. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to be making a series of trips backwards and forwards to the volcano over there, take everything across, build our trap, and then we'll start looking for an argentavis. So I'll see you shortly. Okay then, so we've had to make a lot more stops than I was originally planning, mostly because of the stamina, the weight limits on this thing, because it's the problem was I took quite a few items across on the first run, and we just about managed to get to that hill over there that's in the redwoods. I mean, we came up short, and she was forced to sort of like ditch and came down on the side, but fortunately there wasn't really anything to bother us. Then we made a bit of a puddle jump, if you will, down to that rock area just next to the river, and then we've come across to here. So since then I've been coming across with fewer items, because the less she carries, the less it affects her stamina. But eventually we've got over here, so we've put in these pillars, put in the ceilings, so there's just a front piece that's missing. And the idea is I'm carrying that with me, so I can easily just pop it into place. It was a bit fiddly getting these in, I must admit. The three on the sides, they managed to snap to each other, but the ones at the back, I couldn't get them to snap in place at all, because it's not even ground. So what I then did is I put all the ceilings in, and then I started snapping the pillars to the ceilings. This one here though, it just kept insisting on snapping here. So what I did is I then took the center ceiling out, and eventually I managed to get it to snap to the actual corner ceiling there. So we're at the point where we've got all our pieces here. We've got the traps actually built. Down there I've got a little foundation, and I've got my little storage box, because I don't want to keep carrying this pillar around. So once we're done, I'll just leave the pillar there. I mean, the dinos that are around, they don't attack anything that belongs to you. It only happens if, like you aggro something and then they'll come after you. So it is a bit different from, say, like Extinction, where you've got the corrupted dinos, they'll just attack anything and everything. If you're interested, down there, there's like a little bit of a ruin, and then there's an explorer note. But I don't want to really waste that. Just beyond this little ridge here is actually one of the caves we'll need to go and visit. We can get, I think I might be able to get dung beetles from there, but that's the cave there where we can go and get an artifact from. It's been a while since I've done the island, so I don't remember them all off the top of my head. But I'm just looking at the time and the weather. It's going to be difficult to see anything in this visibility. It's the drawback with the island, is it rains a lot, and I want to be able to go out and look for argentavis. I mean, out there, I've had a bit of a recon around the volcano. I mean, on the map, that's where we are. We're at what, roughly 40, 48. I mean, I've had a bit of a recon out there, and the highest I've seen so far is 85. There was some up on that little hill area where, which is in the redwoods. They were like level 5s, 10s. There was one level 50. So 85 is the highest I've seen. So probably have to go back out there again. I'm going to have a look around the other sides and see if I can find any there that we can maybe drag over. Because that's the strategy, is basically just go up reasonably close to it until it pulls aggro, and just slowly drag it over here. But because of the visibility, I think what I'll do is I'm just going to pause the video, and then I'll bring you back once I've probably found, well, hopefully we'll find a useful Argie that we can try to tame. Well, I had to wait right throughout the night. It was just the visibility was terrible, so I ended up sitting on top of the volcano up there to keep warm, which was quite amusing. But there's not a great deal of like high level ones. I mean, let's say the highest I've still seen is like 85. So we're going to do some clearing. I quite like the pteranadon, how it can do that little barrel roll, if I can just time it. It does quite a lot of damage if you can do that. The only thing I've got to be careful of though, it's the amount of stamina it's going to use up on her, because she doesn't have much stamina. I'm going to have to get that stamina back. This particular area, it's crawling with raptors, saber-tooths, and there's aloes, there's T-Rexes, there's all sorts of things around here. I mean, the good news is, I can get some of these claws while I'm at it, I suppose, because I'm going to need them later on. But it's like a slow process of clearing all these out. I can get rid of these low level ones, and hopefully I'll start to see some better ones. What's that one over there? Yeah, it's another 15. What did you leave behind? Oh, more clothes. That was a bit disappointing, actually. There was a loot crate came down up there, and a nice purple one went for that, and that's all I got from it. Anyway, I'm just going to keep going around this place and clearing out the Argies, and then hopefully I'll get a decent high level one, and once I do, I'll bring you back. Well, I must admit, that's something I've never seen while I've been playing the Ark. A Quetzal with its head stuck into the actual volcano. I mean, it's tempting to take advantage of it, but it's only low level anyway, so... yeah, that's odd. Anyway, I'm just going to get back to clearing out these Argies. Well, it's taking a while to look around, and we're going through the process of just like clearing out low levels, but I think what I want to do is I'm just going to settle for a kind of a medium one, if you will. There's a level 90 is spawned up around this area here. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to see if I can aggro her and take her down to the pen. Basically, because I mean this pteranadon that I've got, she doesn't have a great deal of stamina, so she runs out of that pretty quickly. So you know, even when I'm getting into like the 30s and the 40s, it's I'm having to like run away and then pause to get stamina back. So I'm gonna see if we can get the attention of this one. I'll just have to be careful because I've got to drag that all the way back over there. I mean, I should be able to fly away quickly enough to keep out of its way, so it's just a case of trying to keep it slightly interested enough without using up too much stamina. Right, now that's down the right, so we need to be heading in that direction. Yeah, say it just loses interest if you get too far away. Come on. Are you coming? Come on. Come on. I'll have to still make an actual saddle for this thing. I just realised I've come all the way out here and I didn't make a saddle. Is that too far? Oh no, don't go after the saber tooth. That's okay. Yeah, you come after me. That's fine. I mean, she's got enough health to keep going. She was doing all right taking on some of the, so like, you know, the 30s, the 40s or what have you, but it was just the stamina that was bothering me more than anything. She was running out of stamina too often, so I'd probably get like about three barrel rolls in, then I'd have to run away. You know, try to get my stamina back before the thing caught up with me. So I'm thinking that a level this one, I mean, this is the highest level I've come across so far. It's a level 90 female, and it's it should help me to then deal with you know, things like the 80s that I've been seeing. There's an 80 and an 85 which I was going to go for, but now that I've found this 90, I think I'll just settle for her. Come on, keep coming. Some really lovely colours out there, mind. Been a shame to sort of, like, you know, thin the herd, so to speak. Ow, 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 ow. Ow, 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 ow. Come on. Keep feigning interest. Yeah. Right, there you go. So you're now officially stuck. Right, let's see if we can get you sorted out. We'll see how many trunks this one takes out of curiosity. Because my taming settings are a bit high. Because I want to get through this as quickly as possible. I mean, it's a case of, I mean, I've only got so much time to play the game, so I don't want to spend too much time, you know, having to tame dinos. Go on! Can't quite tell if it's trying to run away or it's... No, it's not trying to run away, I don't think. How many more do you need? I think that's the level 15 Quetzal I saw that was stuck up on the volcano. Because later on it actually it did pop up again. So it must have somehow found its way back out. Aha! There you go. So are you there? Are you the level 15 Quetzal? Yeah, it's level 15. There was another one wandering around here. It was over there. But anyway, I'm going to tame this this one up, because the plan is I'll then use this one to clear out the other Argies out there at a much quicker rate than if I was using the pteranadon here. I mean, she's been leveling up quite a lot actually while we've been going along. She's been getting quite a lot of levels for killing these Argies, and she's I've been pumping all of that into her stamina just to see if I could get it to last a bit longer. Where's all my bits and pieces gone? Right. I've also put a fire down there because I've been out here for quite a while, so I wanted to make sure that I had enough food to keep me going. Speaking of which, I could do with some wood. But I'm gonna tame this this one up. If you've noticed, actually, the kibble's changed. I was right in the middle of doing this video when the new update came out for, I think it's a Homestead update, so it introduces a new kibble system and it introduces more of the S Plus features into ARK. So you've got this kibble here. This is Stego kibble, and it's got a little blue surrounding around it because they've basically done a complete rebuild of the actual kibble system now. So it's a case of I won't be able to actually go out and make any more Stego kibble going forward. I'll just make the the new type of kibble. I should still be able to use this. As far as the notes were concerned, you can still use this type of kibble, but you can't actually make it anymore. So I'll test it out and see how it goes. Because I mean, this particular kibble that I've got, I mean, it lasts for quite a while. So it doesn't really matter about starving these things out. It's not as if I'm going to use like mutton or prime to feed it, because that tends to spoil quite quickly. So normally what I would do is leave this thing to to starve out a bit more, wait till the food levels dropped sufficiently, so that I can then just give it the meat. So then it was a case, and then that way I can fill that taming bar up quicker than I'll run out of meat basically. But yeah, it's going to be interesting this, because since they've introduced this, a lot of the dinos that I've now got are pretty much obsolete, and there's a lot less dinos. In fact, I think a lot of the dinos I was going to go out and get, there's no point getting them now. I won't be able to make their specific kibble anymore, but we shall see. So I'm just going to pause the video because it's going to take a while to actually tame this one up. Once it's ready, I'll bring you back. I brought you back a lot earlier than I was planning to. This kibble rework's completely broken things for me. I mean, I came out here with Stego kibble because that was the preferred food of the argentavis. When this argentavis actually started eating it, the taming percentage went up by 1.6%, which was extremely low. Totally, hit me out of the blue. I just didn't see that coming. As far as I was aware, I could still use Stego kibble, but they've obviously reworked it such that that's not the case. It sounds like this dino here will need a specific type of the new kibble, and this Stego kibble isn't the type that it's looking for, unfortunately. So you can't just go by the old system. To keep going, you've got to completely rethink it, unfortunately. I mean, I gave her some meat and it jumped from about 2.5% to 8% taming. So that is terrible, because in the past what that meant was that if you give it a kibble that wasn't its preferred kibble, you'd get lousy taming rates back, and that's what's happened here. So I'm going to have to tame this thing up. I'm going to have to wake this thing up, basically, hope it doesn't despawn, and then go and get some prime meat for it, because that's what I need to use until I figure out the kibble types. Because I think I know what type it needs. If it's after the kibble that this dino itself produces, that could be a big problem. At this rate, I just don't know, and I'm quite keen to go out and start, getting myself higher level ones, because it makes a big difference. Even though I don't get 100% tame, I like to keep things moving in that direction until I can figure out exactly what type of kibble it needs, and then I can come back at a later date to get a perfect tame. I don't think there's any Orvis that I've seen out here in the wild. They sometimes wander around in the snow biomes. They're quite difficult to find, I find, on the island. But I'm just gonna have to let this thing wake back up, I think, for now. I'll keep an eye out for any Orvis, but otherwise I'm just gonna have to take down other Argies or Stegos maybe to get the prime, and then starve this one out. I mean, I'm gonna have to heal it back up as well, probably, because I've done quite a bit of damage with the darts. But yeah, that's a bit of a setback, so I'll deal with this, and then I'll bring you back. Okay then, so thanks to our pteranadon Neely there, we finally got ourselves an argentavis, which is it's actually tamed out. It's fully tamed now, which is great. But I think I was pretty lucky, to be honest. It was actually quite comical. I wish I'd recorded it, but I was just so engrossed I forgot to press the record button. But we went out looking for some prime meat, and it was a case of, when we got back, there was a bunch of aloes taking chunks out of her. So I had to force feed the Argie to get her health back. Decided, right, we'll need some spike walls, because it's going to take me a while. I was still waiting for her to wake up. So I went out for some more resources to get spiked walls, and got back, and this time there's a scorpion actually trying to kill her. So got rid of the scorpion, force fed her for a second time, so of course her health's right up to the maximum, so I knew it was going to take even longer, because obviously now it's going to take longer for her to starve out as well. So eventually we waited for her to starve out, and for a torpor to go all the way down, and she woke up. So I then knocked her back out again. Then it was a case of, right, I definitely need the prime meat now, so went out, got ourselves some prime meat, took out a couple of stegos and a diplo, came back, and now the supplement T-Rex decided it wants her for breakfast. So I dragged that off the side of the hill, and I mean, it was quite funny, really, because I came back, landed, and I was just about to start feeding her the prime meat, and I could hear this T-Rex right next to me, so I had to quickly jump on Neely there, drag it back off again, and I was pretty sure this time it was gone out the way, but sure enough it came back again, so I had to drag it back out. I dragged it out to the plain area, and it took an interest in something out there, so fortunately that managed to get rid of it. And when I got back, she hadn't taken, the Argie hadn't taken any damage, thankfully, so I did get her fully tamed. But I'm trying to stick as close to the gameplay mechanics as I can. I mean, I do use things to speed things up, like tweaking settings or using mods to automate some of the processes, but when it comes to high-level dinos, I like to use the kibble system, and because that's now changed, I don't know what type of kibble these Argies need. So I've got a new strategy now. I'm going to see if any of the new kibbles that I've got now will actually work. So we've got this one, which is the simple kibble. I made that from the trike eggs. I've also got this one that's been made from dillos. That's some I'd made before the system changed, but as far as I'm aware, that is the basic kibble. So the plan is, I'm going to go back out to the mountain, and I'm going to tame up a low-level Argie. I want a low-level female. The reason for that is because these Argies, their eggs can be used to produce a superior kibble. So we're going to go out there, test these two kibbles on a low-level female. If that works, great. I can then start going out looking for high-level ones. If not, I need to have a bit of a rethink as to what to do. But normally what I would be doing is just getting another two females, and then a male to to make them lay eggs a lot quicker. But the next thing I'm going to do, as I say, I'm just going to go out to there, test these 2 kibbles on a low level female, and then I'll bring you back once I've found out if that works or not. Well, I've tried these other 2 types of kibbles, and no, it makes no difference. I got better results, taming this one up just using normal meat than I did trying these 2 kibbles. So, from what I can tell, unless there's some problem where that's not genuinely registering as the new type of kibble, I mean, it looks like it does because it's got the little imprint around it, then it means to fully tame an Argie, I'll need the certain type of kibble, and it's one that I currently can't make. So the strategy is going to change now. I'm just keeping my eye on that titanosaur. I had one of those wander into my base once, and it literally got stuck. Eventually it managed to get itself unstuck and went away, but it can be quite an annoyance. You don't want to get on the wrong end of one of them, that's for certain. But yeah, the strategy's now changed, because I don't want to go out there and get sort of like high level Argies that I can't fully tame and then come back and do it all over again. So I'm just going to settle for the mid ones, I think, for now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take her back to base, then I'm going to come back out, get myself another low level female. There's a level 85 male, I think, around here somewhere. There might be a 90, and I'll grab that and I'll get that to breed with a level 90 female that I had tamed earlier in the video, and then I'll just basically breed up a kind of an all-rounder Argie that I can use on a day-to-day basis until I can figure out what kibble these Argies actually need, because I know there's 2 of those kibbles I'm going to have to go out and tame other dinos, and I'd rather do that in separate videos. So rather than like revisit this video at a later date, the plan is I'm just going to tame up these mid-level ones, breed one up, and then that'll be it basically, because the strategy's the same. It doesn't matter whether it's like high level, low level, it really makes no difference. You just got to tag them, get their attention, then drag them into the pen, and then you can tame them up. So I'm just going to pause the video, go out and get my other Argies, and then I'll bring you back. I'm waiting for it to get a bit lighter, because we're just about to go out and search for more Argies, but I've now got this big blooming titanosaur stuck inside my base. I mean, I thought there was only like one of them at any given time on the map, but there was that one out near the volcano, and then there's this one here, and it's wandered into the base and now it's stuck. So I've had that happen before, and eventually it'll like work its way out. But I think I'm gonna have to seriously build these walls a lot higher to stop it getting in. I mean, it's bad enough when it's wandering around the area and you've got all this camera shake, but when it gets stuck inside your base, sometimes you can't get back in, especially to your buildings. So yeah, that's always fun. But anyway, seeing as it's a lot lighter now, I'm gonna go out and search for more Argies. So I'll see you shortly. Right then, so we've now got 4 argentavis. I've got a female up on the roof, a low level. There's another low level female just there. I've just gone out and getting this high level 100 argentavis. It's a male one. So I've now got a complete set to make the eggs. The only trouble is I don't have enough engrams to make. I think it's the sap collector. Yeah, I'll have to level up to be able to do that. So I can't make any like superior kibble, for instance, yet. Another problem I've got is I did get the 2 of them to breed, and they've given me an egg, but the trouble is I'm having trouble finding conditions to hatch it in. I mean, when I was doing the trikes, if it was too cold, I could just literally light a torch and then warm it up, but these ones seem to be a lot more fussy, because it gets cold at night, so I'll put the egg down and it'll say it's too cold. As soon as I light the torch, that's it, it's too hot. So it's a real balancing act. So I'd prefer to get an actual air conditioner. Now I don't have the engram for that. I'm at the right level, but I need another 7 engram points, so I'm going to have to basically wait until I level up. So I mean, I would have liked to have gone out and get myself a high level one, Failing that, I would have liked to bred these two together to get one that was fully imprinted. That way it had the 30% damage bonus, 30% resistance bonus, and also because if anything happened to it, it would be replaceable. I think what I'm going to have to do then, I mean there's a lot still to do here on the island, so I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this level 100 Argie here. I'll use him. Actually, out of curiosity, 2041. Yeah, looks like she's got the better weight. She's got the better weight and she's got the better melee, but he's got more health. He'll do more because it's mainly just an all-rounder that I need. So I'll be using him on my day-to-day travels going forward, but I think that's about as far as I realistically can get now for this video, which I do hope you've enjoyed watching it. It's pretty straightforward to go out and tame these, and at least you've got a kind of a better idea of what it's like for the, with this new Kibble system getting in the way. You just can't rely on the old system at all. I was under the impression that Stego Kibble could still be used by an argentavis, but that's not the case. It seems that what they've done is they've converted that into the new Kibble type, but unfortunately it's not the type of Kibble that the argentavis now looks for. So I'm going to have to find that out anyway, and I'm also going to have to try and find a way to deal with this big lumbering giant here. I mean, it's kind of like trying to move. Every so often it tries to move, but it's just getting nowhere. It's quite funny in some respects because it's actually got one leg stuck inside of the building. So you can see it's actually stuck in the building. How it managed to do that, I have no idea. I mean, there's no way I want to sort of like attack that thing. If I attack that, it's going to completely trash this place, kill all the dinos, and that's it. I'll have to start all over again. So I'm gonna have to find another way to either just give it time, and then maybe the next time I'm back on the island it'll be gone. But I'm definitely gonna have to build the walls up anyway. But anyway, I do hope you've enjoyed watching this video. If so, then do please leave a like. That'll help me out a great deal. If you're new to the channel and you want to see more content, then yeah, do subscribe. Just remember to click that little bell icon, because that way you'll get notifications for when new content comes out. And if you've got any comments, any suggestions, any feedback at all you'd like to leave, then please post that in the comment section below. But until the next video, thanks very much for watching. Bye!